Hello and welcome to the Flying Spud YouTube channel. In this video, we are going to be looking at the CowanSim Bell 222B helicopter for Microsoft Flight Simulator. This is a really cool, shark-like helicopter that CowanSim originally developed for X-Plane that they ported over to Flight Simulator. Overall, I really enjoy flying this helicopter. The exterior modeling is pretty good. The textures have some fuzzy spots, but unless you zoom right in on the model, it's not an issue. The only thing about it that kind of annoys me are the figures that are visible from inside the cockpit. As far as I'm aware, there is no option to hide these. But that's only a minor personal thing. There are a couple different interiors for the helicopter. An executive version like you see here, and a medevac version that you can see when you select a medevac livery. The cockpit is very nicely modeled and textured, and you can also change the color of the panel from black to gray with this switch. The CowanSim Bell 222 comes with an impressive selection of liveries, from executive ones to medevac ones, and also some Forest Service and military ones as well. As I mentioned earlier, the interior of the passenger cabin changes depending on which one you select, which is a nice detail. I'll go ahead and flip through all of them here so you can see. The rotor blades and the tail rotor are also nicely animated. And you can also open all of the doors as well. There is also a click area to remove the front doors if you wish. The startup procedure is pretty simple. First, we turn on the master battery, alternators, and generators on the overhead panel. Then set our exterior lights as required. Unfortunately, the helicopter does not use Microsoft Flight Simulator's built-in checklist functionality, so you'll have to RDFM if you get lost. I'll go ahead and initiate the GPSs. Then, I'll engage the starters for each engine. After the engine spools up, I'll light it off by rolling the throttle located on the collective. The rotor head will begin to spin. Then I just repeat the process for the second engine. After both engines are started and the rotor has started to spin, I'll go ahead and twist the throttles to maximum for flight. The spinning blade effect on this helicopter looks pretty good, by the way. Let me just take off the parking brake, in case I need to roll the helicopter on the ground. I think I'm all set for takeoff. Picking up the helicopter is pretty easy, even with the assists off. Now I'll go ahead and taxi to the runway to leave the airport. I'm flying out of John Rogers Field in Honolulu, Hawaii. Hawaii is my favorite place to fly in Flight Simulator, and always has been. Like I mentioned earlier, the CowanSim Bell 222 is very pleasant to hover, and it stabilizes pretty quickly once you build up speed. Now that I'm off the runway, I'll go ahead and retract the landing gear, and also hit the master caution. Funnily enough, the master caution goes off when you raise the landing gear, but not when you lower it. I'm sure that's fine. In my own personal opinion, I can't stand using the helicopter assists in Flight Simulator. They are very rigid and make the helicopter fly jerky and stiff. Let's go ahead and fly over that cargo ship over there. I really like the tropical water masks they added in Flight Simulator recently. It really goes a long way to making tropical locations actually look tropical. I'm looking forward to the 3D trees that are coming in Flight Simulator 2024. Anything is better than the weird sprite things we have now. We'll pass over this container ship and start flying back towards the coast. Having good spinning rotor effects make or break a helicopter model in my opinion, and the CowanSim Bell 222 has very nice ones indeed. So I guess the real Bell 222 is supposed to have an autopilot. However, you can't use it in this model. I guess Flight Simulator doesn't support autopilots for helicopters at the moment, which is a shame. It would really make longer flights a bit easier. So the sounds for the CowanSim Bell 222 are really fantastic. You can also hear the sound of the rotor change as you maneuver. Good sounds is another thing that can make or break an add-on. It's a detail you only notice if it isn't there, and the CowanSim 222 has very nice sounds. Now that I'm lined up on the runway, I'll go ahead and lower the landing gear. You definitely don't want to forget to put those down. That could make things get expensive pretty quick. I'll start to pitch the helicopter up while reducing the collective. I'm still scooting pretty good here. The Bell 222 can fly up to 140 knots, so it can fly pretty quick. I'll go ahead and leave the runway here and start taxiing back to general aviation parking. You can roll the helicopter on the ground and taxi it that way, but I found it doesn't work that well. It's easier just to hover taxi it. One cool little detail I noticed is that if you really shove the cyclic really hard in any direction, it bogs the rotor head down. Anyway, we can go ahead and shut the helicopter down. First, I'll throttle back the engines. Then you select the idle stop release, then roll the throttle back to the cutout detent to shut the engine down. Then I'll engage the rotor brake on the outboard side of the pilot seat to stop the main rotor. Then I'll just throw all the electrical and exterior light switches on the overhead panel. And that's it. We're shut down. So thanks for riding along with me on this quick look at the CowanSim Bell 222 for Microsoft Flight Simulator. I'm really impressed with this helicopter, and I'll definitely be looking at more of CowanSim's helicopters in the future. By the way, if you find the AI-generated voice too annoying, please let me know in the comments and I'll stop using it. But anyway, if you like this style of video and want to see more, please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm trying to have a video out every other day, and I'll definitely be doing more reviews of CowanSim's choppers. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all again next time. Goodbye.